thank you. And could you introduce yourself and where are you from?
Okay. I'm Ray Miklas. I'm with a company called Gates Air out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We are a designer and manufacturer of radio and television equipment.
So just how do you find Ethiopia?
It's been wonderful. You know, this is my first visit to Africa. My colleague Paul said that this was the best place to come, and he was right. Everything from, you know, the hospitality of Ethiopian Airlines, which we took, to all the people here that we've met, including the OBN people that are partners here in Ethiopia, has been wonderful. The hospitality has been great. All the restaurants we've gone to have been great, and the people are so friendly.
I see. Nowadays, mostly, especially some international media are disseminating fake news and disinformation about the country. Even they are reporting as there is chaos in the capital. Now, as we are seeing, nothing is in the city. Everyone is quiet in the peace. What do you say on that?
Yeah, it's like nothing is happening other than a lot of political talk, you know, at dinners and with our colleagues here. But everything is normal. We've been going out to restaurants. We visited Friendship Park today. Ethiopian families are out walking around. As you can see in the back, people are in the park, so you don't really understand that there are some conflicts going on. But so far, you know, we feel very safe, and things seem like they're normal.
Even you have been out of Addis. Last time you visited even Adama, not even the capital. And what do you want to say? I mean, what message do you have for those people who are disseminating fake information about the country?
Well, you know, as the United States, we have a lot of fake news as well. So be rational, be confident in your governmental services. Things will work out. The U.S. government and Ethiopian government have had a relationship for over 100 years, and we feel confident that the people that your government people are interacting with are getting the full support of the U.S. government. At least I hope so. In fact, you know, it's my job when I go back to say, hey, this is fake news. Things are going in Ethiopia. They are a good friend, and we ought to support them in this.
I see. I think recently you visited the Unity Park.
Yes, we did.
How do you find that?
It was great. I had heard that within 2 or 3 years, they built out the complex, and it is gorgeous. It's not only the gardens, but the history of Ethiopia is reflected in some of the exhibits. So it gave me a deep understanding of, at least a superficial understanding of what the Ethiopian history is and how you got to where you are today.
I think this is your first time to Ethiopia.
Yeah, so, first time to Africa. Yeah.
Even for Africa?
Yes.
So do you want to come again?
Of course. You know, we have a major project with the OBN network to expand signal coverage, both radio and TV, for the people of Ethiopia through the network. And the project will take a long time, and I hope to come and celebrate when we finish the implementation. So I'll watch the first TV shows with you when I get back here.
First, before coming to Ethiopia, you have heard a lot about the country, maybe about the conflict going on. And what was your, thinking out there before coming to Ethiopia? What was your perception, and now, how do you find that?
Yeah, there was a little bit of trepidation when we landed. We had heard that there was a state of emergency called, but we understand these things happen. We know that hopefully the U.S. government will be in support of the Ethiopian government. It is a democratically elected government, and therefore, you know, we should fully support the government and the people of today.
All right, thank you. And finally, if you have something to add, you are welcome.
I'm just amazed at the progress in Addis and in Adama. The facilities that we met at OBN were fantastic. They were world class. And then the city is just great. Between the people and the food and the hospitality, it's been a wonderful experience.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Paul Anderson. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I work for the Gates Air Corporation.
I see. Currently, there are some fake news and disinformation going on around the world about the country. And how do you find that? Even they are reporting, some media, including CNN and BBC, are reporting that chaos is in the capital and you are living here.
Yes.
How do you see that?
I find it funny. We go to restaurants and the CNN will be on TV and we're sitting there having a nice glass of wine and a good meal and they're talking about chaos in the capital. Where? I don't see it. I walked up the hill to the Unity Park today. I saw children. I saw people just wandering around having a good time, people getting married, life as usual.
Being a journalist is just being a voice to the voiceless and disseminating the good information and showing the bright future.
Yes.
For in reverse of that, some media are, creating some fake news and, creating some chaos and
Yes.
they are working for that. They are producing
But
fake
we have the same problem in the United States. January 6th, a mob attacked our Capitol. People were killed because of fake news. You just have to, when you hear something in the news, you have to think. You have to be very careful. What are they actually saying? Who benefits from this? And as long as you are wise and you think about what the truth really is, you'll be okay. You have to think, people make money from bad news. There's no money in good news.
All right. The government is just working. The government is working day and night to tell the international community the reality on the ground,
Yes.
the truth of the country, and why these people of these countries and these media can't understanding the country's truth and the reality on the ground.
Again, bad news sells. Bad news makes money.
Oh,
That's the problem. There's no story if there's peace in Addis Ababa. There's no story if there's development and good things happening here. It's only exciting if there's bombs going off and explosions. It's like an action movie. No one would go to a movie without any bombs and bullets.
the other point is just they are working here. You do have a project in the country.
Yes.
And you have seen that six general elections, Ethiopia voted their own government.
Yes,
And
yes.
The government that we have is the government that elected Democrats.
Yep, I was here right before the election. Everything was calm and peaceful. It was a wonderful election. It was free and fair. I've been coming to Ethiopia for about 20 years, and I am very happy with this new government. I think Mr. Abiy has done a great job. I support him. I know the U.S. government supports him. I know that you hear a lot in the press that things are not good between our governments. It's not true. I've been to the embassy. I've talked to our people. I talked to people in Washington. We are as close as ever. Friends sometimes have to yell at each other. The things are not always 100%, but in any marriage, it's that way too. Things are good sometimes and bad sometimes, but you still love each other.
Finally, what message do you have to those who are creating fake news about the country and for the people out there abroad and here in the country? What message do you want to convey to these people?
I just think you have to tell the truth. It's a nice country. It's a country that is doing well. Leave it alone. Let it blossom. Let it become, a free democratic country that it already is. We've been here. Gates Air is our company. We've been with the people of Ethiopia since 1961. We did our first transmitter here in Harar in 1961. We've done lots of radio projects with the EBC, with Oromia, with Amhara, all across the country. We love this country. It's been a good country to us.
All right.
I'm Dennis Igoa, and I'm a journalist working for the national broadcaster, that is UBC TV in Uganda.
Okay, the conflict between the Ethiopian government and the Tigray forces is being undergone in the north, and the media propaganda is part of the ongoing situation, right? How do you see the media propaganda of the West and the reality on the ground?
I'm looking at this story from a totally different context because as a journalist, I analytically look at issues. I don't just go into picking it from international press and run away with it. Because I am in Ethiopia right now. I'm in a town called Adama, and it's about 100 kilometers from Addis. I landed in Addis before I came here, and I would say everything that is being reported probably is totally different with what is happening on ground. And if you look at propaganda, I think it's such a situation, probably government has a really big role to play. I'm talking about the Ethiopian government in spreading the right information, because the challenge is that if the international media has taken over, and most of the elite take time to watch their production, their content, but sometimes the content is actually not in sync with what is happening on ground. And that leaves us now, for example, for someone who will be traveling, planning to come to Ethiopia today, they will think twice or thrice, and I'm so sure very many people have cancelled flights. Very many people are fearing to step out of their homes because of what they're watching on TV. But if you come down here, it's totally different. And that takes us to the point of what is the role of the media, our own media, in tackling such situation. Of course, there is a conflict in Ethiopia. Everybody knows about that. But how bad is it, you know? Because there's no single country out there that will say is being perfectly managed. Every country has its fair share of problems. But the way we put our problems out there is what matters most. Because now, for example, we have journalists. We have journalists who are hired by foreign media houses, I would say so, you know. They are correspondents. And the correspondent, what happens with a correspondent or a freelance reporter, you earn from the stories that you produce. And often, just like the analogy goes, is that when a dog bites a man, that's not a big story. But when a man bites a dog, that's a big story. So we are always running up and down looking for negative information because it's easily bought by the international press. But then I'm here for a training that has been sponsored by Intergovernmental, by IGAD. And it's also it's tackling issues of media's role in addressing conflicts. So this, I think, the role of our media here is really, really important, because people are glued on TV. We're taking in this information very, 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 very fast. Everybody now thinks that tomorrow Ethiopia will be under the rebels, you know, because if you look on TV and they give you information that the rebels are advancing towards Addis, or Ethiopia is under siege, the rebels are 25 kilometers away from the capital, or the commercial capital, you will definitely...
Is that true?
Obviously, it's not true. It's shocking. So that takes us to that point I'm talking about. I would say development journalism and objective reporting, objective journalism, because you don't just go out there and misinform the public, or misinform the world, because there are consequences. And the consequences are dire, because if you have tourists who are planning to come here, they will cancel it, thinking the situation where they're going, there will be at risk. But in real sense, there's nothing wrong on ground. Life is normal. So I think going forward, we have the African Union, we have the IGADs of this world, we have the COMESAs and every other. I think we should focus on spreading the good news.
Diplomatic communities and different nations all over the world that are insisting their citizens to leave Ethiopia to start. Is that fair?
First and foremost, before you make the decision to leave, first of all, analyze the situation. Is it worth it, you know? Because I'm so sure if you have the diplomatic community here, I've seen a UN car passing me right behind here, heading this other direction. If the situation was that bad, I'm so sure that car will be parked somewhere. It has just passed a few minutes ago. So it is a decision, you know, even these diplomats, you're talking about diplomats, there are some of them who have been in our society and they have been assimilated to an extent that they are no longer looking at themselves as diplomats, but they're looking at themselves as the residents, and they're part of the community.
Any message to the global community?
The message is that I think my message is strictly to the media houses, and I think that our local media houses have to write the African story.
TV channel like CNN, BBC are reporting fake news.
They know what they know what they're intending to do. But basically, I cannot judge them, because Let them send their reporters here and look at the situation rather than spreading, I would say, rather than getting the news out there, reporting about Ethiopia from New York. That's not how it works.
My name is Daniel Rutaya. I am from Uganda, Kampala. Yeah.
All right. This time, the war between the federal government and the TPLF is being undergone.
Yeah.
And the media propaganda is part of the ongoing situation. Even they've said the capital of the nation is in Mercedes, encircled by the rebel group, let alone the capital city. Even the regional town is free, as you can see.
Yeah.
What do you like to tell to the global community?
It is quite unfortunate that the media, which I believe in and I serve as a journalist myself, is being used in such a way. I think there is need to be very objective while looking at the Ethiopian story, just like many other crises in everywhere in the world. Every country has their own. And I've been here for 3 days now. I have not faced any sort of insecurity. You can see I'm in the middle of the road at night. And that's something that you cannot do in Uganda because we have a curfew in place. But also, for me, it has been an eye-opener, the fact that I am here and there is actually not, people are just going about with their businesses. Now it is different from what we came knowing in our heads, because we had seen a lot of media about news about Ethiopia that was painting a different picture from what we actually have on the ground. And for me, that has been the eye-opener, that life is going on, people are doing their work, whereas there could be a conflict, there is a conflict happening in the country, but it has not stopped the rest of the country from moving on like some sections of the media have been writing. Well, I came, I've been to Addis Ababa, I was at the airport, I've been eating food in restaurants. You can come to Ethiopia, there is no problem. I don't see any problem. There is a lot of countries that have conflicts, but people still come and visit the countries, people still go about with their businesses. We had a war for 20 years in Uganda, in northern Uganda, the LRA war, but life was moving on this side. I have come to the country, I have seen, I have eaten good food, I've met people, people are just walking around normal. So I do not think there is any justification for the amount of intensity that the United States and other foreign countries have attached to this particular conflict, because Africa has so many conflicts. Even where I come from in Uganda, there are about 3 different rebel groups still fighting until now. They are fighting from somewhere. Some are fighting in Western Uganda, Southwestern Uganda. We even have a border that is closed with one of our neighbors. There's a conflict there, but life is going on as normal. So I do not really understand the kind of intensity with which some countries have handled this crisis, and I think it's unfounded and really does not speak about the facts that are on ground. The global media needs to come and report from Ethiopia. You cannot report about a country where you are not. That's why when I came, I am now seeing, and now I can write a story that is informed by what I have seen on the ground. So the blanket reporting of the whole of Ethiopia is in war and people are dying left, right and center, I do not think that's the kind of journalism that I know the global media can do, because they are actually more resourced. They can send more teams to come and tell a story from the ground.